Tell us how you found your birth mother.
I was at drama school and the Royal Exchange Theatre in Manchester were doing Oedipus and they wanted 4 soldiers for little parts in the show, and it was David Threlfall who was playing Oedipus. Right. And Eleanor Brom was in the show. So I got cast and went in, and as I walked in there was another actor in there, Michael Harbour, who said, "She's the double of my wife."
What?
And I was fascinated by this because I recognise him. He used to present a kids' programme for schools. And we were sort of drawn to each other. And then, yeah, to cut a very long story short, we were at a party and he looked at my hands and he mentioned my accent. And I said, I'm not from the north. And he said, where were you born? And I said, Barnet, gave him my date of birth. And the next thing I know, he'd left the party. He'd gone to a phone box and he'd rung his wife and said, I've found her.
Wow.
And, yeah, he was married to my birth mother. And the strangest thing of all is because I grew up in a family where we didn't go to the theatre. That was not something there. Oh, there we are. There's my birth family.
There you go.
So that's my mother, my grandmother, Kate and Emma and me.
Oh.
But we, I didn't grow up with my family. We weren't, into the theatre or anything. But the whole family, when I met my birth family, they're all in the business as such. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of 3-step discovery. One, he says, God, you look like my wife. Yeah. And then you're talking about where you were born and your date of birth, and it just goes ching.
Yeah.
And what was her reaction when he called her?
She said, I've been expecting it.
No.
She said, I don't know, I've always had this feeling that it would happen. I mean,
she wanted it to, presumably.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, I would never have gone searching, I don't think. I mean, I had my parents very kindly, when I was 18, gave me everything they had from the adoption, and it had my name, and my name was Claire. Claire Grieve was my name. And so I had that information, but I don't think I ever planned on searching for her. But I'm so glad it happened. No, it was meant to happen.
It was in the stars,
yeah. And as I know, and I've got, my wonderful family, my brother Paul and my mum, and then now I have this, my birth family with 2 half-sisters, Kate and Emma, who you know.
Yes, and godparents to our kids.
Godparents to Richard's kids, and it's a very small world, showbiz, isn't it?
You're not my mother, are you?
Well,
You're a bit too young for that, darling. A bit too young for that.
Yeah, so it's been an extraordinary story, and I write in depth about it in the book, in the first half, because the first half of the book is stories from my life and thoughts and beliefs about myself, and not feeling like a very confident person, never feeling like I belonged. Yeah, struggled, I would say, and until I sort of turned my life around, and I would say from the age of sort of like 45, 46 onwards, I sort of transformed my life, and the second half of the book is about how I changed my life and how I hope I can help other people to...
well, that's the trick, isn't it? So, look, it's called Sue Cleaver, a work in progress. I'm not past my prime, and neither are you. Yeah. I love that. How am I not past my prime, Sue?
Well, we're not. I mean, I think you get to a certain age, we get 50+, that maybe our roles as parents have come to the end. We've got empty nest syndrome. I think society would quite like us to just shuffle off quietly. And I'm saying we do not need to buy into society's bias. And it's all about empowering yourself, of realising that, this is this can be a really exciting time to reinvent yourself.
And how do you do that? How do you think that? That's what I want to know, and I'm sure everybody watching does.
I think, first of all, you have to understand that we all get seduced by our thinking. Our thoughts. Whatever we think, we believe. We have that inner voice that we've all got, no matter what we do in life. We all have that similar thing, that inside us, those insecurities. I'm not good enough.
What, the imposter syndrome?
Yeah, imposter syndrome, which inevitably comes from comparison. So you're comparing yourself to everybody else. So we have this inner voice and we say these things about ourselves. Oh, I'm not this, or I can't do that. But they're just thoughts. And thoughts are not facts.
Good for you.
They are just thoughts. They pop in and they pop out, and we choose which ones we hang on to. Yep. And unfortunately, humans tend to hang on to the most negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And by their very nature, thoughts are like taxis. there's always a new one coming all the time.
Yeah.
And you can choose which one you jump into.
Yeah.
But so it's about understanding how we get seduced by our thoughts. It's about prioritising ourselves. And prioritising ourselves is not about being selfish, and it's not about going to the spa. And I always use the example that when you get on a plane, then they always say, put your own oxygen mask on before you put on anybody else's. It's about self-belief. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone, because good things happen when we stand outside of our comfort zone.
Can I tell you a quick story about
Well, actually, I was going to very quickly say, because of talking jungle, stepping outside your comfort zone, new batch going in.
Yes.
What would you advise them to leap out of the comfort zone?
Just go, don't believe your thoughts. I thought I had a phobia of snakes.
Right.
And then I realised it's just a thought. I'd never been attacked by a snake. I'd never spent time. It was just my thinking. I thought I was afraid of snakes, and I wasn't afraid of snakes. It was just being seduced by my thoughts. So I'd say, don't get seduced by your thoughts. I'd say, don't take yourself too seriously. Have an amazing time. Sleeping in that jungle, as you know, with those sounds, is a privilege.
Yes.
And I just think, don't sweat the small stuff.
I've got to tell you, Sue, it's a very
particularly the cockroaches. Don't sweat them.
It's a very empowering book.
Thank
really
you.
is.
It really is. I love it. I've got lots of pages turned down.
Good.
Lovely to chat to you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.